Kodak, acquiring. Microphone, acquiring. Analyzing, analyzing, analyzing. Jen quickly fetches our microphone and connects it to our boxy computing terminal, while I help Duncan install the digital camera. All this to allow us to analyze the device in real time. Scanning, few seconds left. Computer hard drive spin while it starts its scan. Cadog. It's the Doom 3's Mixom versus Moxum running gag. But I already know the result. A Z battery. My sudden remark startles Duncan, but a few seconds later, Jen's terminal chimes and confirms my analysis. Extremely powerful Colossus battery. Z... Wasn't there an old, like, pseudoscience? Was it Z-rays or Q-rays? Pseudoscience. In-rays. In-rays. Right. This is and a French physicist. Getting good at this. Duncan seems genuinely impressed. Jen lets a quiet laugh out. It's accessible. Content. Wait, so the cube's not the battery. So is it like a portable, a bag of holding, cube of holding? It's like if the battery is inside the cube. That's the closest thing to a compliment I'll get from Duncan in a while. I smile at his remark while looking at my terminal, checking where to touch the cube to access the battery. A few taps on the cube and the Z battery appears in the niche with a gentle chime. Teleportation is so instantaneous that it's always a bit disconcerting. Duncan bags the small object with a satisfied look. Key or not, this will sell well in Kairos. Ooh, a Z pack. Extremely rare. The so-called Z battery packs are Colossus energy sources. One of those can fulfill the electricity need of New York for a month. Okay. A little energy dense. Noted. Don't drop it. Please. Let's check the room on the right. It may have been a small lab, but currently looks more like a jungle in a box. The roof collapsed, and the hole was used by gigantic vines to colonize the whole room. Black stems and purple leaves as big as my head. The glass panels on the exterior walls provided the necessary light for the plants to overrun everything. The air is surprisingly moist, just like it's being in a terrarium. Clearing the whole place would take days. What marvelous flora. Hey, let's pick up the pace. That alarm's no good sign. Time's not on our side. The plants are a species of invasive vines, reminiscent of those that cover homes on Earth. However, like most things on Neoproxima, these are oversized. Earth, once considered so unique that some thought we were alone in the universe, Earth has lost some of its prestige. Still, despite the new features offered by the Colossus technology, or maybe because of them, the Cold War gets hotter every year. No, that's the global warming. Neoproxima. This is where the mysterious gifts we received back in 1962 came from. A big blue ball. Well, more cyan than blue. It's a bit smaller than Earth, but still. Those are pretty common. Most colonies and temperate areas have to fight against them constantly to prevent buildings from collapsing under the weed mass. Back in the glass-walled corridor, there's a room on both ends. The only way downward. Round walls are transparent, some kind of highly resistant glass, and give a beautiful view of the canyon around us. On the floor above, the elevator blocks the entrance. Considering the alarm is still ringing, I doubt we could use it. Below the shaft opens into the void at its base. Climbing down without equipment is a no-go. Back in the glass-walled corridor with a room on both ends. We've seen all three, though. We need some kind of rope. Can I go back? I guess we check the room on the right again. Oh, the thick vines. We could use the thick vines to make a rope. I see. Okay. Good tutorial. I'm loving how the game is structuring how it's teaching you to play the game without explicitly saying, this is how you do this. Good design. Love it. Use the rope to climb down. Jen and Duncan hold the makeshift rope. I lead the way. 5 meters down, and I'm in front of the next and last exit. As soon as I step on the cornice, the low-pitched alarm suddenly changes its tone, getting awfully loud. Jen let a scream out, while Duncan mumbles profanity. Ain't good, Farah! Brood is right. There's clearly some kind of warning in this sound, even if my ears can't quite understand the exact meaning. My attention is fixed on the doors in front of me. They're not like the plain gray and slightly grained usual doors that I've come across a dozen times in the past years. Those are darker, almost black. Made of some reactive matter. Nanoparticles. This is it. Nanoparticle material. This material was first discovered after excavating Kairos sarcophagus. Almost black, its surface is made of billions of small particles, allowing it to change shape and even heal itself. While not totally uncommon, Colossus reserved the use of nanoparticles for their most precious items. Hey, Cole. Welcome on by. Farah! Jen's voice seems worried. I get my talkie. Stay put. I'm calling the Commandant. Our current boss will want to know about this. I choose the correct channel and press the orange button. Make this quick. Is qui, Farah? Appelle pour le Commandant. Over. Je ne veux content. It is un instant over. Answered in French, eh? I guess mine is not so rusty then. Le star here. What is going on, Farah? Some good news? His French accent does not impede his English. I quickly summarize our progress. It looks like we found the vault you were looking for. A few seconds of silence. As I press the button to repeat my message, he finally answers. Parfait. Great work. I am going to send a team. We can't take any risks. I think we already are. Countermeasures can trigger at any time. I say we blow the door, grab the prize, and get out. None. You don't understand. Wait for my team. Do not touch anything. That's an order. Oh, a tunnel. I shut both him and the talkie off. The Commandant has always been a control freak. Ooh, we're going rogue! We're gonna get that treasure ourselves! Cool wireframe out. Yeah, this game has some really neat retro-futurist aesthetics. He will have his key, but I will be the one to touch it first. So, we moving or not? I look up and see Duncan's head looking down at me. Gustave wants us to wait, but I say we open this box now. Throw the explosives. Duncan frowns, but before he has time to answer, Jen is already pulling up the rope, forcing him to help. I knew she would not turn around. Not this close. Behind this door lays the key to open the biggest ruin ever found on Neoproxima. Whoever has the key will be the next Carnarvon? Also known as George Edward Stanhope Molyneux Herbert, was the 5th Earl of Carnarvon, a British peer and aristocrat. He's best known for sponsoring the excavation of Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of Kings, Egypt, and dying from a mysterious curse. Why do you want to be the next person of a dude who died from a curse? Huh? Huh, Pharaoh? Come on! Let's just hope the Colossus did not leave a curse like the pharaohs. Let's use this alien bomb we brought with us. Duncan straps the explosives to the rope, and I quickly set up the fireworks, tracing lines with the alien chemical and setting the power source before climbing back up. Tesla, why do you gotta jinx me by... Oh no, I've been cursed! Damn, even thinking about violating their tomb has cursed me. Precision charges like those are rare. A marvelous example of mankind adapting the peaceful Colossus technology to blow things up. But they come in handy. Even so, there's a real possibility that it won't crack the nanoparticle doors. Kairos' sarcophagus has never been breached, the material healing itself too fast. Well, here goes nothing. Shield your ears! Oh shit, our system had to reboot. A quiet buzz followed the sound of a heavy object falling down. We abseil down. A perfect opening has been cut in the doors, like a sharp blade going through some cardboard. The fallen slab, 20 centimeters thick, has fell inward. Cut from any power source, the nanites look dead, its surface slightly gray. Well, not that hard after all. Stepping inside, there's an immediate, unsettling stillness. It's not the absence of sound, but rather the absence of time's pull. It's challenging to describe. Imagine walking into a room and feeling your heartbeat slow down, your breath hanging in the air a fraction longer than it should. Feels like walking underwater, but without the resistance. Our steps echo softly, each footfall lingering more than it should, making the spacious chamber seem even more vast. The feeling fades quickly, and the room starts moving as the alarm hits my ears. The whole building is screaming at us now, like nothing I've ever heard before. Oh no, they're whiffing void fumes. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. That thing has some side effects, I tell you what. What the heck was that? I turned to my friends, but they seem oblivious to what just happened. That thing is not happy. Duncan and Chen have joined me, and are looking at their reactive sphere in the middle of the room. Twice bigger than a basketball, the sphere is levitating, shoulder height, at the center of the square room. He is right. The sphere is not happy. Its multitude of facets are moving up and down, creating waves on its surface. The intensity of the message and its sense of urgency are apparent. The walls are alive too, each covered in nanites, creating small mountains, valleys, and crevasses, moving up or down aggressively. Nobody could mistake that. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe we should have waited for Lustau. Advance toward the sphere. A new hand touches the orb. I pause. The room is as beautiful as it's distressing, with its walls and the sphere changing shape, following the same rhythm. Should we really push forward and disturb such a place despite the Colossus warnings? Advance towards the sphere. Time is short. Yet, the key is worth nothing to the dead. Advance towards the sphere. Time is short. This is yours. I unfreeze and advance towards the sphere. Each step increases the volume, and my jaw starts clenching. Chen and Duncan are putting the microphone and camera in place. I hear them trying to adjust the devices, but I'm not listening anymore. I knew our tech would not be enough. The patterns are too different from what we know. Then the sound. Then the movement. I focus my attention on the sphere surface, ignoring the deafening sounds. Nanites forming gigantic towers, longer than my arms, before disappearing. It cycles. Miniature cities rise again and again, the same patterns, repeating across the sphere, oppressing. Much of the message remains cryptic, with some concepts never encountered on Neoproxima as far as I'm aware. But others I recognize. Time. Knowledge. Danger. I shift my focus back to my partners behind me, still working on their analysis. Jen is sitting, her legs crossed, the computing terminal in front of her, a keyboard on her lap. I can't translate what it says. Maybe the French will know more. Losing their colonies, France, losing their colonies and their status as a leading power, the French saw the crash of a UFO at Chateauroux in 1962 as a sign of destiny. Sticking to its policy, de Gaulle, still leading at 85 thanks to a perpetual state of crisis, not unlike Kennedy, decided that France would travel to the stars alone, as true rivals of the USA and USSR. But in truth, the French limit themselves to small-scale operations, with Kairos being the exception. So France had a UFO landing, which is how they were able to join in the space race. We can crack it open anyway. She shakes her head. So advanced, yet it feels like taking candy from a baby. Security was really not their main concern. It took us less than 10 years to use their tech better than them on this front. She looks at me, a faint smile on her lips and in her eyes. I don't know what that says about humanity, though. I should tell them. I got something. I guess my pride shows a bit, but I can't contain it. Duncan keeps tuning the microphone. One knee on the ground, headphones in one ear. Sure. Got to be the most complex tune encountered yet. Damn microphone is overwhelmed. I'm sure. In Kairos lies knowledge, and something about time. Jen nods, her eyes even brighter. Duncan sighs. He is not one for cryptic messages. He probably would have been more interested in danger. I can't bring myself to say it out loud. Jen would not mind. I know she wouldn't. But him? Well, he would agree eventually. Sometimes it's easier to apologize than to ask permission. And time is of the essence. Let's crack it open. Send me the pattern. I grab my terminal, strap it to my shoulder, and unwind the network cable before throwing one end to Chen. My portable computer is a technological wonder in itself, and it's all Earthling tech. A somewhat flat orange box with two flat screens, a brand new thing called LCD, and weighing only 3 kilograms. Yep. Oh man, talk about a laptop that weighs 3 kilograms. Sheesh. She plugs it into the computing terminal, gray plastic box, quite bigger than my own device. After a few seconds, the readings are displayed in real time on my screen. Orange text and data charts on a black background. I raise my hand to touch the sphere, and nanoparticles emerge to form a smaller one, the size of a golf ball on its surface, linked to its mother by a string of thin particles. I proceed to follow Chen's instructions. 2 taps at the right place, the small ball recedes into the bigger one. Suddenly, everything is still. Type, unknown. State, triggered. Results, mechanism trigger. Warning, mechanism unknown. The walls stop moving. Their miniature cities frozen in place. The alarm echoes within the building one last time, and soon, All we can hear is our equipment and our own breathing. As the sound stops, the sphere transforms itself, morphing into spherical gold rings, not unlike an Amaryllis sphere, which move around its empty center. The rings morph once again almost immediately, the particles flowing down top to bottom to form a black cube, firmly sitting on the room's floor, with something on top of it. All three of us are standing, all in awe. But when the key creation is complete, I can feel their surprise echoing with mine. So that's it, eh? Duncan breaks the silence first. It's a hell of a lot of effort for something this small. I can feel he is more amused than disappointed. At least getting out of here will be easy. Made of the same nanoparticles as the sphere, the object looks like a simple ring. Wider than my forearm, it has no special features whatsoever. Perfect circle of black matter, with slight silver highlights. Even by Colossus standards, this is a minimalist. Ah, girls. Wish you could see your faces. His laugh echoes in the big room, and we join him eagerly, full of adrenaline. True, I expected a bit more panache, but if this is how the key to unlocking one of the biggest mysteries mankind has ever faced, look like a Soviet toaster for all I care. Soviets. The 6 UFOs that crashed on Earth, and so there were 6 UFOs. 2 were in USSR, giving the country a definitive edge. Since then, the Russians have been accused of breaking several UN rules about the use and traffic of Colossus technology, accusations that the country immediately turned against their rival. Truth is, nobody seems to respect the UN decisions concerning Neoproxima. Yeah. Duncan taps my shoulder twice, and, after kissing Chen quickly, starts unplugging our gear. She wipes some tears of joy before turning to me. So you do the honor, boss? She grins at me. If you insist. I smile back. You sure? She nods. You deserve this, Farah. A map redraw. Her appreciation touches me, as I know mine touches her. We never had any competition between us, only respect, since we met in London 10 years ago. I drove her to Neoproxima, but her inventions allowed us to play with the big boys, beat even the best US or Soviet teams. Alright, USA. Starting the decade with the fear of being outpaced, Soviets beat them twice. In 1961, first man in orbit, and 1963, first man on the moon. The USA finally got a win by repairing Neoproxima's first space elevator in 1965. Since then, Kennedy, still in power after his second mandate thanks to a special Star War martial law, has grown more and more aggressive and resolute in planting the Star-Spangled Banner everywhere in the galaxy. Interesting, the historical divergences that are going on and implied in some of this lore. Thanks to her, I'm going to open Tutkanum's tomb, rather than being stuck in a lab. Still, not sure how I would have reacted if she touched the key first. Deep inside me, a little voice is screaming that this moment is mine, that I deserve it more. It's probably true, but I'm ashamed at the thought. I raise my hand towards the key, and I feel the floor starting to shake under my feet. What the hell? Duncan dropped the camera box. Harder than I would have liked. But this planet has no tectonic activity. He looks stable on his feet, as a Navy man should be, while Chen and I are struggling to stay up. Getting stronger. He looks at me. The structure is beaten up. I say we move. It's not a question. He grabs Chen's arm and runs to the door, leaving our equipment on the floor. Take the key. I grab the key. Before I can secure it to my belt, the particles dance on my hand to form again on my wrist. A thick bracelet. The floor starts rumbling harder, and I run out the motionless vault, looking more like a death trap than the wonder it was a few minutes ago. Also, it looks like we lost our electronics. That's gonna suck. That's gonna be expensive. I join Duncan on the balcony and raise my head to see Chen clenched to the rope, climbing upward. You go after. Duncan's not looking at me. All his focus turned to his dearest. I smile nervously. Don't play macho on me. You go after her. He does not answer, but his haste to climb is enough. The whole building is shaking now. Now watch the rocks and dirt sliding down the canyon around us. Ah! Oh, boy, Newt! Holy snacks! 15 months. Ah, I see you've noticed the pathetic emote. Oh, welcome on by. I hope you're doing well. I look up to Duncan. He steps on the balcony and signals me to start climbing. I check that the artifact is not moving and climb 2 meters before the sound hits me. A powerful, almighty roar coming from the north. Then comes the wave. A purple-colored water rampaging through the canyon, annihilating everything in its path. Probably flowing from the mountain range north of Cairo's colony. Maybe the Colossus are not as naive as we assumed. Maybe they had more security measures in place, after all. Fuck. Move! Duncan is using his whole strength to pull the rope up. I can see Chen doing the same. Oh, we better pull. Success! I try to climb while they pull the rope. I'm halfway there when I look outside again. It's too late. The wave is now less than 500 meters away. No time to climb up. No time to escape the building. I start climbing downward while screaming, "Hide!" Duncan stops pulling and looks outside. He looks back at me. I see him struggling. "Hide!" Scream again. He nods as he lets the rope go. Slowly enough to ensure I land safely on the platform. An agreement and a farewell at the same time. I can hear Chen screaming my name as he pushes her deeper inside the building, leaving me alone in the shaft. I let the rope go. Take a last look at the blue monster rushing towards me. So close. We were so close. I run into the vault. The irony strikes me as the wave strikes the building. This vault was no tomb before we came. No mummy, no pharaohs. And now it's mine. Accept your fate. Huh? Duncan's groan wakes me up, and I join him immediately. My head hurts. I feel like crap. Wait, we're outside. Hey, we're missing Shen. We don't have our bomb. But I feel, which is quite unexpected. Light is piercing through my eyelids. Something's not right. A vault doesn't have any windows. It shouldn't be so bright in here. What are we doing here? He starts shaking me up. A dangerous move considering his strength and my current state. I get out of his grip and risk opening both eyes. Not lying on the cold floor of the vault, but on a steel table facing myself, a dozen pints of beer and a damn octopus. I'm stunned. Duncan is right. But what on earth are we doing back here? I did not hear him stand up. His face is white from fear. He's patting himself, looking for wounds and apparently finding none. I turn to my right to check Chen's reaction. My face is nothing. Her usual chair is empty. Alright, somebody pulled us out of this ruin and brought us back, and if both Duncan and I are out, well, Chen is the best candidate. She's probably sleeping somewhere. Where is she? Damn it, Farah, where is she? Duncan's big Scottish mouth be damned. He's planting nails in my head. He sits back heavily. Something's wrong. Feels like a flashback. His swollen eyes are scanning the room. It's the same day, but 6 8. So we went. Something fucky's going on here. So hi, Blanc. Welcome on by. I hope you're doing well. I raise my right hand, showing the strange object wrapped around my wrist. I got the key. He looks at it like it's going to bite, and then shakes his head. All I remember is a hell of a lot of water. And drowning. Vividly. His eyes fade for a moment, his face even whiter. Now I feel like I drown in booze. He has a point. I never drowned before, but it sure does feel similar to a hangover. On my left wrist, my faithful Japanese digital watch displays Sunday, 8th of June, 1975, 06 222. 222? 0622. Quick look at the clock above the bar shows 0623. Means my watch is giving the correct time with the wrong date. Means I'm gonna have to replace my trustful Casio. Did not enjoy this little bath. Weird though. Do we really spend a whole night sleeping on this table? Not be the first time, but would have expected Simone to have cleaned our mess by now. It's not her style to leave a table dirty for more than 20 minutes. Less so for 1.5 days. Yet I can hear her in the kitchen. She'll open in a few minutes. The look around me, bar's neon light, and bright colors hurting my eyes. All the furniture is the best of the best. Plastic chairs, steel tables, orange carpeting. Previous owner did not spare any expenses to make it look like a trendy New York bar. Frenchman wanted to open an exclusive spot for wealthy tourists, especially hunters, looking for the thrill of the hunt far away from Earth and its laws. How'd you go, Nasher? Yeah, I hope you have a rejuvenating eat, vampire killer. Thanks for stopping on by. Sadly for him, but all too predictable, he got eaten by Lapis during a safari shortly after opening the bar. Lappy, one of the worst beasts you can find on the planet. The Russians call them Tiki Lappy or Quiet Paws, hence their name. Nobody knows who really met the monsters first, but everyone knows someone who died eaten by Lappies. They are fast, strong, extremely vicious, and usually hunt in pairs. Without weapons, you're as good as dead. Simone bought the place and arrived from Earth only a few months later. Not sure how or why, but the old woman had held a firm hand on her brassiere ever since. Her old school trinkets contrast sharply with the rest of the room. Antiques and plastic sharing space. We're sitting at our usual spot, the main table, right in the center of the room. Steel circle supports the bar's main attraction in its midst, a gigantic aquarium with a small octopus inside. Our own version of the Arthurian tale, featuring a holy grail in the form of a key, and a squid for a king. A king currently playing with an empty bottle of Chateau Haut-Briand, 1955. The exact same wine we drank last night to celebrate our last plunder. That ain't right. Duncan is also staring at that bottle. Empty ones are lined up in front of us both, but it's like somebody cleaned Chen's mess. It's not Simone's style. My brain slowly shifts into second gear when Duncan stands up a second time. We go back to the ruin. As usual, this is not a question. Probably went back there with Lustau's team. He continues as he starts walking towards the door. I stand up to follow. I exchange a look with Simone, preparing her morning shift as we exit, but Duncan doesn't stop for their usual chit-chat. Our trusted truck is waiting for us near the entrance, half buried in Kairos mud. It means Chen must have taken a ride with Lustau after bringing us back here. Duncan sits behind the wheel, and I get into the passenger seat. I feel as much as I hear an explosion in the distance. Safety in Kairos has never been great, but 2 explosions, 2 mornings in a row? That's uncommon. Uncommon, but not surprising. There are plenty of Ivans toying with more than they can handle in this city. Go southeast, cross the bridge, and then east to the canyon. Road to the canyon is bumpy. Duncan's driving reflects his current state of mind. Putt, 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 putt. Close my eyes to avoid getting sick, as much to avoid talking with him. Huh? I can feel the plastic dashboard stuck to my left cheek as I wake up. Not sure how long I slept, but it did not help. I feel even worse. Carefully, I open my eyes, expecting to be blinded by the sun, only to be looking into the eyes of an octopus. Again. Instead of the truck's dashboard, I'm face down on a table in the octopus bar, surrounded by the same empty bottles. Hera! Chen's voice is high-pitched. I smile despite my headache. Duncan found her. Drove us back here. Let me sleep. We got the key. All 3 of us are alive, and I can sleep till tonight's celebration. All this was a simple misunderstanding. Where are we? Where's Duncan? Her voice cracks up, and my smile fades instantly. I went looking for you. My voice comes out like a raven's croak as I slowly raise my head. I thought he found you and turned around. She shakes her head a bit too hard. But her face turns white, and she obviously focuses on avoiding a disgusting incident. She looks hungover. A voice deep inside me starts screaming. It's getting louder as I turn my head to the left. This voice knows something is wrong. Duncan's chair is empty. The table in front of him is missing the bottles of whiskey he's fond of. The voice gets louder, and I look at my wrists. On my right, the key is still wrapped nicely. On the left, my digital watch is insisting. Sunday, 8th of June, 1975, 0:22. 06:22. The scream inside finally reaches a peak. We need to get out of here. Let's get out of here. Come on, let's look for Duncan. The words feel insincere, but he's kind enough to nod and follow me to the door. The morning sun welcomes us as soon as we step out of the brassiere, illuminating Kairos. Even so, the colony looks as pitiful as usual. Our truck is parked at the same spot, in the mud in front of the octopus metal door. The way it's parked, the light reflecting on its carrosserie, everything screams deja vu. Sarah, please tell me I'm dreaming. Please? Chen is pulling my sleeve, pointing at a group down the street. I recognize them immediately. Ivan's crew, one of our competitors. A bunch of idiots if you ask me, but backed by the Soviets in their deep pockets. Except those douchebags are supposed to be dead. We used some Colossus tech to improve their engine and blew up in the middle of Kairos yesterday morning. Blew up yesterday morning. The explosion woke us up, and I clearly remember seeing the flames before going back to sleep inside the bar. I suddenly recall the sound I heard when Duncan drove off a few hours ago. I see the group entering their vehicle. I shout as loud as I can, and I see Ivan's head turning towards us as he gets into the driver's seat. The moron smiles before turning the ignition. An orange light beams the street. In the blink of an eye, the truck shrinks, collapsing in on itself, crushing the passengers, and causing a massive explosion. Took less than a second. All that's left is a clump of metal, no bigger than a suitcase, surrounded by blood and petrol on fire. Oh! Wow! Okay, so that's how Ivan perished. That's an interesting explosion. More of an implosion, just... A few colonists quickly gather around the accident, shouting warnings and trying to extinguish the fire. I barely process all that. All I can think of is Ivan's dumb face as he was getting into his car. The man who died today, who also died yesterday. I can't articulate anything, and we both stare at the small fire in silence for a while. So, he's dead again then. I need to know what this does. She points to the key. I need a lab. A well-equipped one. I nod. Gustavo should give us access to his. In the street, the fire is finally under control. A small crowd is already dispersing. ED is blasted by Colossus tech. Normal day in Kairos. Chen rubs her arms to warm up. Probably less than 10 Celsius outside. Data from the vault and its sphere may help too. We should go back to the canyon ruin. Return to the truck. Oh, I like how there's little marks whenever I'm turning. Okay. Something fucky's going on, that's for sure. What's that purple meter? That's not a good sign. Let's not do whatever that was. Okay, here's the canyon. Okay, maybe I need to go north. Getting tired. Fall asleep soon. That's where the ruin was last time. That can't be. Chen's voice takes me out of the river contemplation. We're back at the canyon ruin. Or at least where it stood a few hours ago. A small stream used to flow at the bottom of the canyon, now replaced by a wider and deeper river surrounded by vegetation. The wave was at least 50 meters high. There should be debris everywhere. Trees, whatever, but not this. Let's get a better look. We've been wondering for the last 20 minutes. Time to move. Need to climb down there. Look for what's left of the vault. We may still find some data to understand this. I raise my left hand, letting the key shine under the sun. Ready for a little more climbing? I look to Chen. She smiles, but I can feel her distress. We were used to being just the two of us without Duncan. He entered the picture years after Chen and I first met. But this is different. This is another level of absence. I know I saw him a few hours back, but waking up with Chen feels like he disappeared a long time ago. Or never existed. How do you feel? How are you holding up? She continues to check her gear, tightening things here and there. Be honest, I'm not sure. First I thought it was memory loss, due to shock or something. But I remember most things clearly. Childhood, studying in London with you, coming up here with you and Duncan. Some tears cloud her eyes. But the further back I go, the less I see him. I know we moved together in London, but I can't picture the place. She shakes her head. I can't recall a single morning with him on Earth. I nod. So that's not just me then. I move to face her and gently wrap my arms around her. I woke up with him before. He's still there, Chen. We will find a way. A small nod. She delicately wipes her tears away before dropping a small kiss on my cheek. I'll let her go. Let's climb down. I don't have resources to do this. What? I was just leaving. Huh? What is going on? I don't understand. All right. I think, chat, I think we might have got ourselves in a time loop of some flavor. Again, the wood sticking to my sore cheek. Again, smell of beer and wine overloading my senses. Even worse, our time loop start is at a hangover. It's just starting at the bottom of the barrel. Man, that sucks. Again, the headache, the sweat, burning stomach. And again, my grumpy Duncan blasting my ears. I tell him I was with Chen moments before. He looks reassured for an instant, knowing his beloved is alive. That doesn't last. I was driving, and then I woke up here again. He looks shaken. Even for him, that's a lot to take. I rub my fingers on my temples, trying to ease the pain. It seems the loop restarted when I fell asleep. The loop? What loop? What are you talking about? It takes a while, but I'm finally able to tell him our loop theory. How do we stop this? This is the cause, right? He points to the key. I agree. Yes, that's possible. Should you just take it off? We both go silent. I did not talk about this option with Chen. I think I should keep it until we know more, or we are reunited, the three of us. Do we rest a bit, or save Ivan? All right. Time loop game theory. Yes, it would be the right thing to do to save Ivan. Yes, we don't know if there's a time limit on our time loop. We don't know. So, biggest things in a time loop situation. What are the constraints? What causes the resets? Okay? And how do you end the loop? Very, very important details to try and figure out if you find yourself in a time loop situation. You know, it's rare, but, you know, just things to keep in mind. All right. With it looping whenever we EV Schleebies, I think we need to preserve our will and rest a bit. Rest a while, reptile.